hosted by yours truly, Juanita Coley.
Hey guys, and welcome to Demos on Demand, where we are attempting to answer your top 12 submitted questions, demoing an enterprise product in 30 minutes or less. Whew, the pressure is on. I am super excited. This week we have David Singer and Mike Wroblewski from Verint, representing Verint, and y'all already know how I feel about Verint. So let's hop right in. Do y'all think that they can do it? All right, let's bring David up. David, thank you so much for hanging out with me this week on Demos on Demand. I don't know. Verint's a big product. Do you think you can demo this? Do you think your teammate can demo this in less than 30 minutes?
Come on, Juanita, you know us. We're up for any challenge because we're not. It's a big platform, but it's so simple. We can demo it as quickly as you need. We got this.
Okay. All right. We gonna see. All right. So you already know the rules, David. Okay. Listen, it's 30 minutes. Okay. For those that are tuning in for the very first time, you've sent in 12 questions, okay, that you guys want answers to. Part of those are, demo looking at the product. 8 of those are actual questions that you all are commonly asking questions to. David is going to attempt to answer this in 30 minutes or less. The more time the quicker he answers the questions, the more demo time he has left over. So, do you think you can get it done, David?
Of course we can get it done, Juanita.
All right, so I'm going to go to the next scene. We're going to put the clock on the screen. When I put this clock on the screen, I'm going to start to ask you these questions rapid fire, okay? All right.
Let's do this thing.
Let's get it done. All right, so 30 minutes is on the clock, okay? So once I ask you this first question, there's no take backsies, okay? All right, so let's go. Okay, so first question, David. What is the average seat cost for the Verint product?
So we've got options for the low end SMB market, enterprise market. SMB starts around $20, enterprise starts around $30.
Okay, so what is the minimum seat count?
Sure, for our SMB offer, we can go down to 50 seats, a little less, and for enterprise, that starts as low as 100 to get that full enterprise capability.
50 seats. Wow. Okay. All right. Great.
Yeah.
How do I save money with your product as a customer?
Sure. With Verint WFM, you're going to get spot on WFM practice. It's going to allow you to optimize your schedule of your resources across every channel and across every part of your organization, which allows you to do more with less with more engaged employees.
All right. And how do I make money with your product?
Simple. More engaged employees lead to more engaged customers. Better employee experience leads to better customer experience. More engaged, better experienced customers spend more money with you. It's fantastic.
You already know how I feel about that. All right. What channels do you support with the Verint product?
What do you got? We support all of them. We got calls, chats, emails, social, deferred work, in person in the branch, deferred work, offline in the back office, you name it, we support it.
How does Verint help customers keep their employees front and center?
So it's all about flexibility and empowerment, right? Work happens and life happens, and we give employees the ability to manage and modify their schedules to meet what the business needs and what their life needs. And when they feel that empowerment, they're good to go.
I love it. Okay, how do we keep customers front and center with the Verint product?
Sure, it's an extension of that. It's when we're able to match the best employee with the right skills for the right call type and the right interaction, then customers are front and center. Everything is geared around what do the customers need to get that best customer experience in the moment.
All right, 27 minutes left on the clock. Last question. All right. How does Verint prioritize how they're keeping up with all of the different technology trends and putting in what's needed at that current point in time for customers?
All right. So there's a couple of things. First, we are always looking at the market, right? We're predicting what's the next best AI that's got to come out. What are the next channels that are evolving? What is going on in the customer experience space? And so we're proactively building all the latest stuff built around the right AI and the right automation. But we're also hyper engaged with our customers. Customers ask for what they need. So it's new customers, it's current customers, it's old customers who want to come back. And so we take everything customers are looking for, everything we see where the market's going, and we distill and prioritize and make sure that the right AI, the right tech, and the right CX automation is being delivered all the time for our customers.
I got one final question for you.
Shoot.
What would you consider Verint's one unique thing?
I'm going to hyphenate three things: open, data, and AI. Right? It's an open platform that allows you to bring in all of the data you need to optimize across all these channels, to share that data everywhere it goes, and the right AI models to make sure that the automation's in place, the predictions are in place, and you're getting the right answers at the right time with the right people in the right place.
Boom. That is 26 minutes and 11 seconds left on the clock. That's decent demo time, if I say so myself. Okay,
yeah.
That's decent demo time left on the clock. Okay, thank you so much, David. Hang out with me in the green room. I'm gonna bring your partner up, who's been watching from the back. Mike, he's been watching from the green room, the show.
Great.
So I know he's ready. All right, so I'm gonna put you back in the green room, and Mike is gonna come up and take over for the demo side.
Sounds great. Thanks, Juanita. Take it away, Mike.
All right, let's get her done. All right, Mike. So you just came back from the green room. You watched David fly through those questions, answering them super, super quickly. He left you with 26 minutes and 11 seconds on the clock. So
awesome.
That's what you got left to demo. So you can see the clock on the screen, 26 minutes and 11 seconds left on the clock. Do you think you can demo this enterprise product in 26 minutes and 11 seconds?
Juanita, I got it. Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, I love the confidence. Okay. All right. So when you tell me go, I'm going to go ahead and hit start, and your time will start.
Okay, let's go.
Bam. Let's go.
All right. So thanks, everyone. So I want to talk about, first of all, some agent views. And I thought the best place to start with an agent view is our mobile app. Now, this is the current mobile app. A little teaser. There's a new one coming out with some virtual assistant inside the mobile app. We won't show that today, but it's coming soon. This is out right now. So work view. This is where an agent, a representative, those frontline folks can see things like their schedules. Notice you can see things like whether you're working from office or if you're working from home. You can even see things like available overtime, extra hours, and also any overages and hours where you can take some either paid or unpaid time off. Now, the great thing about this staffing ribbon, as we call it, this is fully automated. So if I'm seeing this as an agent, I already have the right skills. All I have to do is touch on one of these blocks and submit my request. And behind the scenes, automatically, everything can be approved based on various rules, staffing needs, etc., right? Limits on overtime and hours for the week. So this can fully automate things like that in terms of filling the gaps or getting rid of some excess staffing. It can also, for the agents, they can very quickly interact and engage with their schedules. Many ways to do this. So one is time off. And I'll highlight just one. It can be things like even absences. Not just PTO, not just vacation, not just those traditional things, but it can also be absences, and that can automatically be approved behind the scenes. And that whole ribbon that you just saw earlier can automatically offer up additional hours if those absences create gaps in staffing. What else can the agents do here? So the agents can also see real-time updates on all those requests, and these are all drillable. So a time off approved, just as an example, they can see not only when it was submitted, when it was approved, but also who approved it, any comments if it was a human that approved it, or indicating if the machine did it, as you see down there, automatically approved by the machine. Very transparent. And in real time, all the time. What else? So agents can also see their performance. So this is, again, automatically updated on a daily basis, or perhaps more often, intraday is possible as well. And it's many things. So workforce management certainly is our focus. So we'll just glide down to the workforce management scorecard here. lots of things you can see. These are some of the out-of-box options for workforce management. The one I'll highlight here, which is interesting, this starts to go in some of the channels and media we support, right? So this is where, as an agent, I can see not only my overall handle time, how I rate against my peers, how I rate against myself in terms of the goal, but also automatically break down different media like chat or email or task or inbound phone and others. We'll get into that in a bit. So lots of things that agents can do in here, including even seeing their time off balances and even ad hoc messages that their leadership may send out asking for maybe additional hours. These are all native apps in iOS and Android, downloadable by the agents. Of course, the administrators for the platform can control what access they have and what they're able to do.
Nice.
All right. So that's the mobile view for agents. So let's get into a bit of the supervisor views. So I'm just going to drop this down for a moment. So the first we'll look at is a calendar view. So this is an overall graphical view showing by day in this case, or you can zoom out into week and even longer. We'll focus on the day for now, where leaders can see what their teams are scheduled to do. And notice all the different channels that are popping up here as I go across this schedule. Automatically, the Verint machine will schedule these activities for different media types based on demand. So there's lots of rules behind the scenes to make sure that agents don't do what you don't want them to do to some extent, work too many hours, those sort of things. In the end, the machine will pick and choose the best places for these different media types and activities, and the agents know exactly where they're supposed to be and when. The other thing here that leaders can see is adherence. So there's a couple things they can see, and let me back up to a different day real quickly to show some not only traditional kind of phone adherence, right, or chat adherence, which is this primary line right here. It could be anything, any media types. It can even track things like wrap-up time and others in or out of adherence. So this is in real time showing what the agent was doing based on that source system. But more importantly, I think what the other thing that workforce management here can do from an enterprise perspective is not only show that, but also show desktop activity and exactly what that person was doing specifically down to the second throughout the day, idle or not, were they actually productive or not. So think about that kind of black hole of wrap-up time.
Yeah.
So we are tracking that in the primary adherence line, but what's happening during that time? This can show leadership at an individual level and up through teams and lines of business and enterprise levels, what people were doing, were they productive or not? All right, so other views for leaders. So some of the views leaders can see, I'll just stick with adherence for a moment here and jump into our quick view adherence. Apologies, let me go over there. So quick view, this is the same concept, same type of data from the ACD, from the CCAS platform, whatever it may be, right? So this is showing in real time what individuals are doing. Easy to filter down for what you care about. So this filter, which is extremely powerful to drill down into exactly what you want to see as a leader, this shows you not only the concepts of, what organization, what group, what team, but also can even go down to concepts of, are they actually working today, not working today? Who's in and out of adherence right now at this moment? What skills I care about, what activities? So for example, I could see things like, I just want to understand someone who's working, say, just chat or something, and that is working today and out of adherence. If chat's starting to get a little bit bombarded with interactions, right? And you can quickly also not only see who's in and out of adherence, you can even see things like who's too long in an activity. Mm-hmm. So even if they are adhering, say like wrap-up time, which is adhering generally when you're in an interaction, you can also see if they're too long in that activity, give those leaders an alert so they can be proactive in helping their team. Maybe they're struggling with some knowledge or some searching, right? So
yeah, get them some help. Yeah,
pretty powerful, right? Some other views. So let's talk about intraday data, as well as what channels and media we can support. So this is Q Analytics. This is one of our analytics views in Verint. This shows not only single line of business, but this can be for multiple different lines of business, different customers if you're an outsourcer, those concepts, right? Can be for any scheduling period, dates that you choose to look at, and any type of media you choose. So you see things like chat, There's email or task type work, even back office work, or even outbound phone, which is somewhat unique to Verint. We're able to schedule outbound, inbound phone, task work, social media, back office, all together and blend it how you want, and whatever guidelines you give the machine, we will work with.
That's
now, in this view, yeah, I mean, it's awesome. And in this view, there's some things leaders can do and real-time analysts can do as well. So you notice right here, this is actually tracking real-time, or I should say near real-time data from the source system. Could be any media, obviously. In this case, it's just phone. It also then trends out, the machine will trend out what it expects to happen the rest of the day based on the forecast and what's happening now. And then very quickly and easily, a few actions can be taken. One is to configure that trend I just showed you, because the humans, right, know better sometimes than what the machine sees. They know what the operations and what their contact center does and cares about. So they can actually change that trend in various ways, even also exclude certain anomalies. And once they do that, if they choose to, simply send as a new forecast and a workflow to their forecast analysts.
Wow.
Very quickly able to respond to anomalies. And remember, back on that work view we just saw in the mobile app, remember automatically those staffing ribbons can pop up. So if that forecast all of a sudden goes a little bit higher, additional hours can be offered automatically to those with the proper skills.
Nice.
Okay. All right, so I'll show you one other view for media types. This view maybe isn't as exciting and interesting as these views, but I think it really highlights what we're able to do in terms of different media types. So the kind of boring admin area for a moment, right? But I think this is important. So as you set up new queues or skills, we call them queues here, as you create a brand new one, you're given the option for what type of media you want to use. So those are very long lists, things that you wouldn't even think of sometimes, like projects off work somewhere, social posts, and of course back office operations. So a lot of options here. We can cover it all in the end.
And that's so powerful, because not to eat into your time, but that's so powerful because I think a lot of times in contact centers, we're not thinking about all the things that that account for work and the time that it takes, which is then throwing off that productivity, is throwing off the customer experience because we didn't account for that thing to be occurring.
Yeah, absolutely. Spot on, Juanita. And remember, back on the calendar, when the proprietary engine for Verint runs, so this is a concept of annealing is what happens here. So what I mean by that is this Verint proprietary engine, algorithms behind the scenes, are exploring all the various possibilities, things that could happen in this schedule. Also using all the work rules you give the engine, right? So how long can someone work? Are they part-time, full-time, skills, etc., right? But it's then looking at all the probabilities, the possibilities in the future for the schedule, and picking the best optimized schedule possible. It's a very powerful engine. Okay, so let's jump into, so I think this is pretty interesting. So Dave Singer mentioned in his discussion around what's unique about Verint. So he talked about data and AI, right? So this is an example of that. So we're going into some reporting and analytics. Obviously, we have a lot of out-of-the-box reports. We have ad hoc reporting. We have many ways to get at the data. The data can even be extracted via APIs and put into your own data lakes, data hubs. So that's all possible. On top of all that, in addition to all that, we have what we call data insights, or the data insights bot. So this bot is continuously looking through the data that's collected in the Verint cloud. That can be from workforce management. That can also be from things like speech and text analytics and many others, keep in mind. Workforce management, the focus right now, but I'll talk about that speech and text convergence here in a moment. It's pretty interesting. So this is automatically bringing together analogies, it's bringing together trends, surfacing things that maybe you didn't think about or know about. And you can even use out-of-the-box dashboards. So this AI reporting, this is generative AI reporting, is automatically surfacing trends and insights for you. And you can create your own dashboards. You can even share these dashboards with others and collaborate. So let's drill into one. So this absenteeism shrinkage dashboard, huge for contact centers, especially workforce analysts.
Yeah.
We want to know where the shrinkage is coming from. Why is it happening? Let's analyze that, drill into this more. Here's where you can do that. So this is automatically collecting data by activity names. Think like chat and loans, and there's a lot of options and examples on the right-hand side there, even by organizations or lines of business. This is sliced and diced how you want it, right?
Wow.
And you're able to drill into this even further, so analyze further.
And did you say that this was real time, Mike?
This is near real time. Near real
Okay.
time.
And so
this
this is
will be
updating my shrinkage.
yeah. This is roughly hourly. It'll update.
Okay.
It can be possibly more often, but roughly hourly, right? And this will show you things that automatically will give you the analysis and the data you need. So it's looking at, in this case, it's looking at organizations specifically, and then activity names specifically. So it's broken down by different lines of business. Could be customers if you're an outsourcer, right? Could be however you want to break that down. And all the things that are producing shrinkage. And as you hover over this, you get all the data you need. You get the information you require. You can even, there's options over here where you can even change how you look at these insights, how you report on it, easy to change it as well. Even if you want to, you can export this into various formats and analyze it to your heart's content. It's extremely powerful. Even you can search for things that you maybe don't even think about here. So you can say, show me something, or what is something? And that question simply typed in by a user, someone who doesn't now need to understand how to build BI queries and database queries, they can do all that. It's extremely powerful.
Wow. So I could say, show me my sick time for today.
You sure could.
And it's going to pull that information up.
That's exactly right.
Because I'm looking at a shrinkage report, and I will be able to see what that is.
That's exactly correct. So instead of having to, perhaps you don't have the report you need today, you have to go over to your data analyst team to build a new one. That takes time. Yeah. This allows you to do it extremely quickly. So there's some examples that we've already, kind of searched for within our instance of data insights. So shrinkage by org, absenteeism concepts, even things like, what's driving interactions right now. Very powerful. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. What's driving interactions right now? This is powerful stuff. You're thinking about like this generative, because the other thing that I'm thinking about as you're showing me this is I'm thinking about the novice or the newer workforce manager, right? That really, they don't know what they should be looking at. They're more so asking from a business perspective, hey, what's driving volume? Or, hey, what's happening? They don't know necessarily where to look. And this is basically going to be able to tell them where to be looking in the tool.
That's exactly right. And alerts can be set up around this as well. There's lots of ways to consume this data. Obviously, the easiest way is to just drill into information. And this is one of the out-of-the-box dashboards that are available as well. So this is just an intraday analysis. Some of the similar data we saw in Q Analytics a bit ago, but this gives you a lot more ways to slice and dice it, lots of ways to add filters very quickly and easily. As you can see, you can even drill down to specific activity names. Lots of things you can do here. And I mentioned there's options even to collaborate here. So you're able to even send this information to team members that care about it. Think about maybe you're getting heavy interactions in certain channels. You can actually analyze that and figure out what's driving those interactions, login issues in the website, those sort of things. That's where WFM and CX data like speech and text analytics start to converge. So you can put that data together to start to understand not only there is an anomaly that we need to respond to, and certainly the machine can do that for you automatically, but in addition, figure out what's driving it and send that to maybe the website team that can fix the login issues.
That's
very powerful.
Super powerful. I'm thinking about back to my days where I had to walk the floor to find out that kind of information. You're saying that with the combination of speech and workforce management, these dashboards, generative dashboards, that I'd be able to not walk the floor. I'd be able to just ask the tool, hey, what's happening? Why is this happening? And it's going to tell me, hey, yeah, you're having some login issues. You may want to go, get that over to tech support. That's insane.
That's exactly right. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
This is, so in my view, the older ways of reporting, what we knew of reporting before, SQL reports, whatever it is, business objects reports, you name it, whatever it is, right? Even BI to some extent. This starts to replace that, and those become not as useful. Now, obviously, there's going to be data analysts teams that can pull this data out, as I mentioned before, and report on it however they want, right? This is for those users in the contact center that need to figure out answers to problems quickly, and they need the data now. That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So tell me about when you say, I know David said about open, AI. So when you're talking about open, tell me a little bit more about why you're saying open.
Sure, absolutely. So let's go back to the other view here just for a moment, and that'll help a little bit. So let me just jump back over to our Q Analytics. This would be one example, and I'll talk about others. So first of all, open means we can integrate to pretty much any platform out of the box. There's many. There's a long list. So think about, and I love to talk with customers about this in terms of, think about, 10 years ago or more, what the major routing platform names were. Who were the big players? And what are the big players today? A lot of those names have changed, right? So we're able to integrate with pretty much all of those platforms to bring in data for calls, for volume, for any channel that they support, right? And then just display it in here. And not only can we put it here and then use it for forecasting, use it to create schedules. We talked about all those possibilities. We can also use APIs to bring this data you see here out to wherever the customer chooses and create their own dashboards as well. It's an extremely open, powerful platform because not only can we ingest the data you need from any platform required and all at once, meaning we can bring in data from multiple platforms at a time, we can also get that data to where you need it as well. So I think that's the best way to talk about open and that data. Most platforms aren't quite as open. They may close it a little bit so they can contain their own data. We don't see any reason to do that. In fact, we see it as a powerful tool to allow customers to use their data as they wish.
Yeah, I can see how teams will be exporting data to be able to use cross-functionally and in all of the different ways that they wanted to leverage that information, but then also ingesting information as well.
Yep, absolutely. So the one thing I didn't mention, and again, it's an admin screen, but I think it's a very interesting screen to talk about how you don't have to be looking at this machine, this view all the time in order to understand what's happening. What do I care about right now? Let the machine tell you what you care about, and then you respond to it. So for example, we'll just jump into this notification section here. And there's many things you can do. So these are real-time notifications around things you would expect a workforce management platform to do, right? So you can create notifications around things like when a schedule change happens, or remind employees about an upcoming schedule change, their break, their lunch, their something, right? You can also, even when you create these rules, you can create rules that do more than that. They actually create workflow. So one example here, and if you recall, I talked about those KPIs that were on that WorkView app that shows things like adherence and you name it, right? You can track anything really in the end, a lot of out of the box. You can even set it up so that when certain KPIs are out of range or below goal, it's not what you want it to be, you can automatically not only send out notifications, but even create a coaching session within workforce management automatically.
Nice.
And then optimize. Yeah.
Nice. Putting a real focus on employee experience, right? Like making sure that they get the support that they need, so that we're not just dinging them from a coaching perspective, but we're also, or a KPI perspective, but we're also giving them the coaching that they need to be successful.
That's absolutely right. And why would employees want to stay with an organization versus go somewhere else, right? There's many reasons, but certainly being able to engage and feel empowered in their job is a big reason why people stay in their jobs.
Absolutely.
And of course, there's also, tell me what I need to know when I want to know it. There's also concepts around all those Q Analytics data elements we talked about. So it can be things like abandons or connect rates if you're outbound, or you name it, right? There's a long list of data points in Q Analytics that you can send alerts out, and you can throttle the machine, if you will, meaning you can say it needs to be over or under or something longer than an hour or a few hours or whatever you care about, and then send notifications out to the people that care about it so they can take action.
Yeah, I love that, the take action piece. All right, so you have 4 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock. What else do you want to show me, Mike?
So I think the last thing, maybe one of the last things that I want to talk about here is, so we talked about the calendar here a bit, right? So what we didn't talk about much is not only can you use that powerful machine, the proprietary algorithms from Verint to automatically schedule, you can also focus this machine, and you can throttle and change the behavior of this machine. So Verint's philosophy around AI and the machine is having that machine sit next to the human to help them do their jobs, not replace the humans, right? So in this case, you can focus on just re-optimizing certain things. Remember, we can send new forecasts through a workflow just with a couple clicks, and that can change everything. So you can go and re-optimize intraday, intra-week, move around breaks, lunches, coaching, training, what you need to move around as needed automatically, as well as even focus it only on certain groups of people by skill, by people that are working certain activities. So however you can filter, as we talked about a bit earlier in that adherence screen, you can also schedule by as well. And even control the machine in terms of how you prefer to be over or understaffed and how you want to approach your service level. Be very consistent in making it every interval, or just look at being consistent for a day or for a week. So this machine is extremely controllable, powerful, but you can throttle and control it as you need to. So I think that's a big thing with Verint, where you have a lot of knobs and buttons to control to make sure the machine gives you the results you need.
Wow, that's amazing stuff. That's powerful stuff, like you said.
All right. So Juanita, I actually, I'm curious if you have questions for me, things that you or your folks on LinkedIn and other areas would love to see about Verint.
Well, you have 2 minutes and 13 seconds left on the clock. So I'm not going to keep the clock counting down. But if the audience wants a full demo, because I know the Verint platform can do so much. So I know you're only able to cover a fraction of the things that the tool can do, ranging from forecasting, scheduling, intraday, the generative AI pieces, the open pieces. So it's so much that the tool can do. So if the audience wants a full demo, then they definitely can book that. But I think the thing that is most intriguing me in this moment is definitely the generative AI, because I'm thinking about it from a workforce management perspective of, again, the learning tool that this now provides to new workforce management people to say, well, I don't really know what's causing this issue or what the thing is, but now with this generative AI piece, the system will tell me what I should be paying attention to. Hey, your shrink is abnormally high, or, hey, you should be looking at this, or hey, we're picking up that on the website there's login issues. Like, that is so powerful, and I'm super excited about that. So I can't wait to see some more of the generative AI in the reporting.
There's much more to come, and we've got other kind of tease it a little bit, right? We have a lot of new, what we call cloud services features that are coming out over the next few months. So many others that I'm not prepared to talk about quite yet, but hopefully we can check back here in maybe a few months and we'll have more to talk about, Juanita.
Awesome. Well, hold on with me 1 second. I'm going to bring Dave back up and we're going to wrap the show.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. So, Dave, did you see the way Mike went through that demo?
So I love this man. He is so good. It is such a powerful application, and he really brings it to life.
I mean, listen, my favorite part right now of what I'm seeing from Verint. You know I've been using Verint. You know my story. I've been using Verint since it was Blue Pumpkin, right? Or before the Verint days. And man, when I tell you, I'm a little jealous. That we didn't have these generative AI reports when I was using the tool, because I had to go and walk the floor and find out what was going on, right? So I'm super excited about the generative AI reports. That's super next level. So I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, Juanita, I go back to Blue Pumpkin days as well. And I used to use Blue Pumpkin in my own contact centers in the past. So I'm with you on that. I'm jealous of all the new things that are available now. Almost makes me want to leave and go. No, I'm just kidding.
He's like, let's not go that far. Okay. Yeah. But all of the bots, we didn't even get to talk about the bots today. Which you guys have 30 plus something bots that you
30,
have?
35 now, 50 by the end of the year.
It's crazy. right? And so the bots are doing something very, very specific. Anyway, you know I'll gush all day. All right, so you guys have 2 minutes and 13 seconds left on the clock. Thank y'all so much. Hang out with me in the green room. I'm gonna wrap the show and I'll be right over with you.
Sounds great. Thank you, Juanita.
Thanks, Juanita.
All right, so that is your demos on demand for today. Again, I will gush all day. Again, I'm super excited about being able to have access or the openness of the Verint platform. And I'm super excited. You're going to hear me say super a lot because I really am. I'm trying to stay centered right here on the screen. But if not, I will be pacing back and forth, okay? Because I'm super excited about this generative AI. I'm just thinking back to the days when I was leading workforce management teams and I was in workforce management myself and how I had to hunt for this information. I no longer have to hunt for this information. It's served to me so that, as you heard Mike say, I can now just take action, right? I can say, oh, this is what's happening. It's a login issue. I can take action on that, get it over to IT, and we can start fixing the problem rather than having to find the problem. Anyway, don't get me started. Don't get me started. All right, guys, if you want a full demo of the full Verint product, again, we were only able to cover a certain amount in these 30 minutes, but if you want a full demo, make sure you click the link. I'm sure it's around here somewhere, and we will get you set up with a full demo. All right, guys, until next time, go be great. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to tune in to the next episode right here on Demos on Demand.